Page 47, Frosty the Snowman. 4/4 time. No sharps or flats in the key signature. We do have a few accidentals, so we're going to use a few black keys. So let's cover it one hand at a time. Make sure we have the fingering and the rhythms and all. And the notes too. Right hand starting here. Actually, you're going to be up here. Your little finger's coming up here. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Or just reach up with a little finger. And then come up here, third finger. 1 and 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3 and. Then measure 5. They want you to do the thumb and then cross over. So we can be in this, we got to change positions, and this is the way we can do it. And then third finger. You're going to get that some more. On page 48, at the top, you're up here. And thumb, the same fingering we had before, is different rhythm, eighth notes. And they want you to cross over. I really don't like doing 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. I mean, sometimes you have to, and there's nothing wrong with it. I just don't care for it. So on measure 15 here, instead of a 2 on the F, I'm going to do a 1, and then I can do a 3, 3, 2. I do 3, 2, 1 here. So I'm just crossing over to third finger here. They just got you doing 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. And that's fine if that's it, but you need to be able to do the 3 anyway, so I'm going to do it that way. There's just different ways of fingering things, and I prefer this other one. Now, measure 16, you're here, and then you're going to reach up 5 and then 3. Again, we take advantage of the repeated notes to change hand positions, that's all. Thumb comes down and change hand positions. And then 2 again. Thumb. And then at the bottom of the page, third finger. This puts us in position to go on. We've had this before. Measure 31, I'm going to use the same fingering I suggested. I'm going to put a thumb on the F and come over with third finger. And during the rest, you come back up. Third finger, 1 and 2 and. 1 and 2 and. The thumb comes down. Don't move the hand. Leave the hand where it is, because we need third finger on the G again. F and G. And now you can do a 5 if you want. And for the last measure, I recommend, rather than 1 and 5, I recommend you simply reach up and do a 2 and 5. See, the whole chord is this. We're not using the G, we don't need to, but that's the fingering, so then the idea is I don't move my hand anymore and I have to. And here, you have a rest, and there's staccato, you got plenty of time. I just don't like moving my hands around, so I just reach up and do that. Left hand has got broken chords all over, and I'm just rotating here. And 4 chords, and then a lot going on. Measure 7 is 5/7 chord. And then measure 8 F sharps. Isn't that nice? Good old Frosty. Just they did that on purpose too. Just to wake you up, I'm sure. Measure 13 on top of page 48. So you have a rest at the end of page 47. You got time to come up 3. And the only reason we're doing that is because of the black key. We want to stay in this position, but we have a black key, so we're just going to do that. Now we're still in this position. Put the hands together. This is here. So you can tell where that 8th note is in between the quarter notes in the left hand. So you play it in between. That's what's written. I know it doesn't sound different. Okay. You go through and put all the hands together throughout it. Then go back through it a few million times to get rid of the hesitation. So it's a nice steady beat. And once you can do that, this might be a month later, but once you can do that, then add the articulation. The staccatos are short staccatos. I'm hinging at the wrist. I'm on the keys and I'm bouncing off. If it's slow enough, I do that. And be careful on these. Don't accent it because I'm pushing off. I tend to accent it. Don't. It gets a natural accent, and that's it. So we have the difference between the staccato and the legato, and that's important. Measure 6. You're here. At the bottom of page 48, last measure, you staccato, and now you have an accent. Play a little louder, both hands, and then you're back to what you were doing before. Measure 32, you're here. Staccato here, and really it's staccato on both hands. Now this is connected, measure 35. But this isn't at the same time. An accent at the end. Now they have phrasing marked in the book. I typically follow the words if there's words in the piece, and I'll phrase it according to the words. You can phrase it however you see fit. It's like at the beginning on page 47. They have a new phrase. Well, if you read the words, that's all one sentence. There's no break there. Connected. Now you can lift up. There's a comma after sol there on the fourth measure. You can lift up there. And I wouldn't break this. Connect that in measure 6. Connect all that together. It's all one phrase. I think in the Play With Me, I'll probably do it the way they're showing, but if I were doing it myself, I would follow the sentences and the words as to when to phrase, when to breathe, so to speak. Let the music breathe, if you would. Measure 10, no break. Connect it. And that's how I would do it. Everybody would do it a little different. It's okay. There's no right or wrong answer here. It's just, how do you do it? And I follow the words. If the words were not there, then I would have to follow the phrasing as marked. Yeah. Then we'll add the dynamics, and that goes to the melody, which is the right hand, mezzo forte, moderately loud. This needs to be soft. We want to hear the melody. That's what we're here for. If you want to bring these out a little bit, very low, but we want to hear the melody. They don't give you any more dynamics that I can see until pick up to measure 17. It's soft. Now, you don't have to stay moderately loud up until measure 17. You can get a little louder and softer if you feel it, but you're in that area. And then here is a contrast. It's soft and very, very connected. Measure 21, there's a crescendo. We're going to go up. We're not going to get loud until the last measure of the page. There, that's loud. In my opinion, the up belongs under the here. And then the accented note makes it very loud. So plan out your crescendo, or you'll be loud by measure 22. You'll be loud too soon. So we're soft. Moderately soft, moderately loud, loud. There. I did it like a measure at a time. Then back to moderately loud again. Like you were. And then I'll measure 33, very soft. left hand is super duper soft, huh? And then at the bottom, you're going to crescendo up to loud. From soft, from very soft, soft, medium loud, loud. It's like each note or each beat got a little louder. And the last note is very loud because of the accent. That's both hands. Yeah, it's kind of fun. Now we add the speed once you can get all that mess under control. It says moderately. You can find recordings of this. Be happy. Don't go too fast. You don't want Frosty doing too much here. Just fun. They've added a little bit of pedal there on page 48. You don't need pedal on this. You really don't. They want to connect it and they want the overtones, I guess. Because they're holding it down through all of that. You're belling it up and then let go. You don't need pedal on that. I would recommend just leave it off. If we're going to use pedal there, we're going to use it in a few other places. Then they want you to use it at the end on the accented notes. But again, you don't need it there. I'm suggesting you leave pedal out of this. Now there is a page turn. We got to deal with that because if you're playing it for people, you can't stop to turn the page. The beat goes on. How do you do the page turn? Well, you could memorize page 47. It's not very long, and you get that musical melody over and over and over. So maybe you could do that. Otherwise, maybe somebody can turn the page for you. Otherwise, you get to do it yourself. Well, that's going to be fun because both hands are busy. You might have to leave out notes. Or you can't leave out melody notes. So we prefer not to leave out any notes, but sometimes you have to get the page turned. So what you might do here at the bottom page 47, you're here. As you're doing this, go ahead and turn the page there. And you're missing out on the bottom notes. Then at the top of page 48, the F. As you turn to the page, if you want, you can still get the notes by playing them in the right hand. Just playing it up here. Here. You want to practice that, then you still have the notes. They're in a different place, rather. But they're here. Here. If you want to do that, that gives you one measure to get the page turned. Or you can memorize the first 3 or 4 measures of page 48 because you get some rests in the left hand. And then you can turn the page then, right there, and if you can memorize those few measures. It's up to you. You work it out and then practice the page turn to make sure you can get it turned without messing up the beat. Now, since leaving out notes is a last resort, then I'm going to encourage you to memorize the first 3 measures on page 48 here. That much of it. And then as you're doing this, turn the page with the left hand real quick. If you have to leave out notes, you'd leave them out there. The melody's got it covered. I'd like to play this with you very slowly. Let's double check the notes and the rhythms. I'm going to do page 47, then stop. Then I'm going to turn the page and we'll count us in again, another 4 counts, and then we'll do the rest of them and just play it through. Not going to do any dynamics. I'll do the staccatos and the accents. That's it. No dynamics. We're not performing it. We're just checking notes and rhythms. So I'll give us 4 counts. Let's try it. 1, 2, ready, go. stage. 1, 2, ready, go. Two, three. Rest. 4, 1, 2, 3, rest. Rest, rest.